laws.
I'm saying it's the ease of access. It's a procedural issue.
That's a really dumb point, though. It's like a dumb point.
It's not a correct point.
No, it's not. Correct. Oh my God.
He's right. He's right.
Really gonna die on the hill that
he's
15 layers.
He's logically
It'd be harder to. It'd be easier to rape you than if you were butt naked. Prime, you're gonna die on this hill.
Are you gonna die on this hill? That this makes any fucking difference when it comes to rapists, to people being raped? Like and you don't even understand that it's not even about lust, right? Like lust.
Say it was.
No, hold on. But first topic. Former NFL player Antonio Brown is under fire for exposing himself in a hotel pool. In a video, he can be seen exposing his butt and then his penis to an onlooking woman. He also wrestles with a white woman in the pool. He says that this is a targeted attack and that it would have been fine if the roles had been reversed, meaning the woman exposed herself. Is the outrage called for? Assuming there were no children at the pool, is there a significant transgression here? Is there a racial undertone to the outrage? Or has all of this been an appropriate response? Yeah, so Antonio Brown, I don't know football, but like, I don't think I ever saw this person in my life. But Antonio Brown is apparently a famous former player, and he was I think this was in Dubai, if I'm remembering. Yeah, this is Dubai. And he exposed himself. Like you could find the video. And like,
clear.
Sorry, what?
Oh, it's pretty cut and clear, the video.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's definitely him. No about it. But like, he did that, and then there was a woman, and like, it's a little unclear how, like, who was in the pool from, how she felt about it. That's a little debate in itself. But yeah, a lot of people are coming after this guy, and I'm wondering, is that fair? Start with Bam.
So one, like, it, as far as the part of like it would be different if the roles were reversed. To a degree, sure. I mean, it's obviously true that like women, men flashing themselves, exposing themselves is seen differently, like culturally, than women. But actually, this is Dubai, so that might even be true for the place that you're at, the location dependent. But like, Antonio Brown has been a clown for a little over a decade. The Pittsburgh Steelers did a really good job of like covering it up, but like Antonio Brown has major issues. Like, it's not even like a CTE thing. It's like this man is he's up there with Kanye. He's just not.
Don't do that. He just agreed with Kanye today.
But like, yeah, and I think the criticism, if this was a one-time event, I think it would be seen as differently. But this just keeps this, like, the reason he's getting the reaction he is, one, because of his celebrity, and two, because Antonio Brown is such a constant repeat offender of this type of buffoonery that he deserves every piece of criticism he gets.
Interesting. Okay, you'll have to tell us more about him later on, because I don't know. So about the other things he gets up to. Please, Revolutionary.
Well, Antonio Brown, I would say the situation is kind of complicated if we want to give it some context. He has always been a bit of a diva and the type of person who was hard to handle in the locker room. But you can also see from his track record over the past 6 or 7 years, he's had personality changes, and his behavior got markedly worse after the Vontaze Burfict hit. Like,
explain that what that is.
Trouble just there was a moment where he got knocked out on the field that was way uglier than, say, the hit that we saw from Tua. I mean, completely vicious. If you want to show it, I have it right here on the tab. I can send it to you.
Well, just send it to me. But like, I'll watch it some other time.
Yeah, it's a little rough and hard to watch, but I mean, the guy went from being a bit of a problem and being like a relatively normal problem, even considering his background. He was homeless when he was young. Man had a whole bunch of problems, but after that hit, it's like his brain just went into left field. Like his brain is made of tapioca, so I'm not sure how mad I'm gonna get at him. But I mean, you also, regardless of how brain broken you are, don't pull out your dick in a public pool. Like, just don't do it. So I mean, I can only get so mad at a person whose brain isn't fully there. Dude got Chris Benoit brain. Let's be real.
Oh shit!
Hope
Oh,
not.
Yeah, I know.
I hope
that
not
might have
Chris
been too
Benoit
far.
I gotta. Who is that?
That dude,
It's a
he killed
wrestler
his
that
family.
had head injuries and murdered his family.
Yeah, he was a WWF player, WWE player who wrestler, excuse me, and he ended up murdering his entire family. That was really sad, actually.
Roid
And
rage.
yeah,
A
Nutella,
little bit more than roid rage.
Josh.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, roid rage coupled with heavy brain damage and crippling depression. Like that was a tragedy that was waiting to happen, unfortunately.
I mean, when I first saw that video of Antonio Brown, I was like, "What the fuck? What is he doing in the pool? Like, he doesn't even look like he's entertaining the woman. He looks like he's borderline sexually assaulting the woman. I mean, he clearly throws her in the pool multiple times. She doesn't look like she wants it. She actually swims away at the end of the video, which Antonio Brown said that she swam away with his swim trunks, and I have no clue. But anyway, you know, I think, you know, his actions are especially dangerous in the United Arab Emirates. I actually did a little bit of research, and exposing yourself in public or public nudity is punishable by 6 months, no less than 6 months in prison. So I hope for his sake there's any legal consequences to his actions. But I do think the outrage is just. I just don't think there's any excuse for exposing yourself to unwanted participants. I also think that the case that there's any underlying racial undertone to, you know, the outrage at him, I think it's flimsy. That I think AB has a long enough rap sheet to, you know, not be given the doubt on this one for me. And those are my thoughts on the video.
Thank you so much, Water Kai.
Oh, I have to say, this dude's been going through so many things. I'm starting to believe that racism doesn't exist if you're good at football. Because this dude has been alleged to have attacked so many different women under different circumstances, and virtually nothing happens. And teams still want him on. Finally, they stopped taking him in. So with this one, I'm not surprised or shocked at all. I'm sad that anybody had to deal with this because he hasn't been checked so far. So when you give a person like this a whole bunch of money, they're going to become a bigger problem constantly over time.
Okay. Dream.
I think there is an excuse. You know what I'm saying? We can't say there is no excuse because, like Revolutionary Underground said, if his brain is like mush, you know what I'm saying? I remember when I was in 7th grade, this special ed kid took off her shirt and she was developed and was running naked in the whole schoolyard. Everybody was like, "Oh my god!"
I'm assuming he's not mentally ill.
We gotta understand. Boom, you know what I'm saying? Like he said, Chris Benoit brain shit. To be honest, from his behavior, he's giving me signs. You know, I'm not gonna how do you say, diagnose him with anything, but I'm not gonna say that, you know, I'm stupid. I'm not stupid to not understand symptoms. And he got some symptoms of somebody that's mentally disturbed, for sure. Whatever diagnosis he has, I don't know. I can't tell you, but he got something going on up there, and that's me giving it a benefit of doubt, because I can't imagine a sane person doing the things he's doing. I can't imagine that. Like, what world do we live in when that fits in the definition of sanity? On the second end.
Oh, I thought you were done. Sorry, keep going.
No. On the other end, where let's say he's not mentally ill, we don't know if that situation wasn't consensual, right? So that could be like a little thing they do between themselves. That is, you know, she hasn't come out explicitly expressing her distaste. All we hear is about a third party seeing her not liking her or whatever. So we don't know what the truth really is. So yeah, this kind of, you can make the argument for a racist undertone, because I feel like, you know, Ben Roethlisberger or whatever his name is didn't get nowhere near the hate that AB is getting, and he's done worse.
Yeah, I remember that one. He was a rapist. That part. Let's go to like serial rapist, I think. Let's go to Isle, please.
Yeah, I think this is really sad. You know, there are times where you hear the phrase "a cry for help," and I think that someone should probably set him aside, give him an intervention, and tell him that he needs to stop. He needs to take care of himself and things of the nature, because this is not okay. Like I said, I also looked and said that, and public indecency is in Dubai is like 6 month jail sentence, and it's not good. Um, you know, we're gonna have to get some feedback from the woman to see her side of the story, to see whether or not this is consensual or not. But I don't know how consensual it could possibly be. But there might be, like I said, it might be something that behind the scenes we don't understand. But I think that it's sad to see someone who once gave so much joy to people who looked up to him as a fan, and now he's just where he is now, doing the things he's doing. I think that's just sad for anybody to see people just fall um, to rock bottom, I guess. It's kind of sad. As for the racism thing, I think that, racism is kind of, I can see how people are saying it, because like we said, like other people of different races sometimes get away with it. People let them pass. But, I think also, but on the other hand, like, doing this public exposure, full frontal nudity in a public pool in a foreign country, that is shocking. And so I think people do have a right to criticize and be like a little bit like perturbed by it. So I can understand where it's coming from. So yeah.
Okay. Open to the panel.
Let's really think about it. When he says roles is reversed, could it be that he meant like if the girl was flashing him, that's cool, but because I flash my dick, that's not cool, and I see that point 100%.
Yeah, because you're consenting to somebody showing you your.
Hold on. Are you okay? Flashing is not consensual. Please relax. That is not consensual. What are you talking about?
I mean,
you don't be like.
I guess it can be, right? Depends.
It can be, but that's
no problem.
Of course, it can be, but we're talking
If
about.
you have no problem with it. What if the woman had a problem with it?
What is the context, bro? The context is without consent, flashing is more acceptable for women. Let's. I mean, come on. What are we talking about here?
Yeah,
Please.
that was the first point I made. Like,
Yeah,
I see that point, like socially, but it is not like a justification for his behavior, even still. And I was wondering, just like because like a bunch of y'all are making like, oh, okay, well, a bunch of y'all reference like, oh, it's because of the football hits. I wanted to make like not even 2 minutes probably to Antonio Brown's history. So basically, this goes back as far as literally to his childhood when, like I said, his father left when he was very young. Like people have trouble. That's basic. But even in high school, his mother had already kicked him out of the house because she said that he was like he couldn't be handled. He was a fantastic high school football player, but because he had so much trouble with grades and in school and things like that, like and just like being seen as like a troubled kid, he didn't get major scholarships. So he ended up going to FIU, which is Florida Atlantic University, which is a smaller. It's Division I, but it's a smaller school. Before the season even started, he got kicked off the team for starting a fight. So then he ended up having to transfer to oh crap, I can't remember the second school he went to. It had another fantastic football playing season. Goes to the draft and can't get drafted because even his college coach there, his second college coach said that like he does have off the field issues. Antonio Brown is a handful. Make it to the NFL. He has 2 really good seasons starting out, and then they offer him a huge contract, like $45 million, which he accepts. Following up the fact he says like he refuses to practice because he says I'm the franchise now. Like y'all done paid me, like I don't have to do anything anymore. Following this up to 2016 with like this.
Where are you reading this?
Well, some of it is from prior knowledge. Now I have this is a website as well. It's like just the timeline of drama. 2016. This is when the Vontae's birth hit happened. So all these things that were like major character concerns that weren't like super public news were all prior to the hit. And then follow up after the hit. Did
he become worse?
I mean, not really. He's just given more spotlight because he became a bigger celebrity as a player. He called the Ryan Clark. He called him Uncle Tom. Let's see, for saying that he needed to like get his act together. Then the Steelers finally had to trade him because he had got arrested and he was having too many issues off the field. He's traded to the Raiders, and he signs a $68 million contract with them. He nearly kills a toddler because he throws a furniture off of a 14th floor balcony.
Let's not forget he dyed his mustache and beard silver. I'm counting that against him too.
He did do
Be a
that
crime
as well. Let's see. I'm skipping over like little stuff because there's like millions of those. And I'm trying to hit on like the major. I'm almost done. Scrolling down.
Almost done. I think
Yeah, I really
enough.
am. Okay, yeah, he gave himself frostbite even after being like told he couldn't go barefoot into like a cryogenic chamber. He was like,
I remember
Brown. You can't stop me. And gave himself frostbite and couldn't
This
practice.
AB's greatest hits. I'm like, oh, I remember that. I remember hearing about that.
And I think that's
I forgot about the feed.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much. Oh yeah, he stole $38,000 from his private chef. There was a woman he sent like.
He just taking his money back.
Naked inside his house. I think he had a maid or something, and he was walking around his house naked, like just in front of her. He's like, "This is my house. Like, you like what you see, blah blah blah. I'm gonna walk around nude." And like, she felt super uncomfortable about it, but he was like pressuring her, and the list goes on and on. All this to be said, Antonio Brown is a complete nutcase, and if this happened, regardless of any sort of football hit or contact you want to connect it to.
Hey man,
DM me that list. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I did not say that it was because of the hits. I just said his brain is mush or he has mental whatever. Regardless of the reasons why, I mean, we can see he clearly has some mental problems that need to be solved. Maybe they're unsolvable, and we just have to be empathetic to his plight, living on Earth.
Maybe keep him away from people and not give him all that money.
Oh yeah,
and you can see like a clear
about that.
He's sexually assaulted.
A clear escalation in the problems in his behavior.
He sexually assaulted who?
Like, you've heard how much of that list came after that hit.
A female trainer on the Patriots. Useless. He was on the Patriots like 3 weeks, and he had sexually assaulted one of the trainers.
How so?
Did he even play one game with the Raiders? Didn't they release him before he played?
Yeah, before the season started.
It was highlighted on Hard Knocks on HBO.
That dude went from being the star on your fantasy team to being the dude that just couldn't stay out the headlines.
Only reason why I know about him because I don't watch football.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So thanks for this. This will help clear things up about this dude. But yeah, all right. So I want to look at this incident in particular, right?
Right.
The woman in the video, there's a woman who seems to be filming him, and then there's a woman who's in the video, a blonde woman, who is in the pool with him. And sorry,
I thought it was a man that was filming him.
Well, there's a woman. It sounds like a woman's voice to me. Who's like commenting about it, but I don't know. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Just someone is filming. But in any case, and there's a white woman in there, a blonde white woman who is in the pool, and he's like picking up her and like dunking her. Right? He keeps doing that, and she's like laughing during the video, and at one point she she swims away from him, right, like way on the other side of the pool. But she turns around in that video and continues to laugh. Antonio Brown says that she took his trunks, his swim trunks, right? You can see in his hand, and I can see it in her hand. Like once I'd see him say that, I look back in the video, and you can look at it in her hand. Like it's difficult to see, but she's got a pair of like dark swim trunks that she's swimming with. So it seems to me that that was consensual. Like if I'm gonna guess, it seems like that woman was consensual. At first, I thought like maybe it was uncomfortable laughter because it's like maybe she didn't want to be doing any of this. But the fact that she took away his trunks, right, and it seemed to be in a playful manner, seems implies to me that the whole thing was consensual. So there's that part.
It's
In the
more so his
article-
actions afterwards. So, like, when someone steals your trunks, do you proceed to expose yourself to everybody at the pool and just make a big fun thing out of it?
Yep.
Like,
Maybe.
I'm asking.
depending on the event, maybe.
To be honest,
Yeah.
we gotta know what pool that is, because that ain't just no normal pool that you just go and walk on the street. You see a random a Dubai public pool. That ain't no Dubai public pool. That's
sure
gotta
it
be.
I'm
wasn't
assuming it's like a
It's a-
hotel.
Yeah, it's
I'm
a
guessing it's a
fancy
hotel.
hotel. Yeah,
Yeah,
It's gotta be like some like high end hotel or
it
something.
is.
where-
Yeah.
which
Or
doesn't
maybe-
mean you just get to be naked
Children
all up
could
in
still
there.
be there.
I'm not
I
saying
mean,
that
if you
doesn't. I'm
paid
not
to
saying
have
that
it
that's what
like
that
roped
means.
off as private, maybe, but
Yeah.
I'm not
people
saying that
could
that's
just
what that
go-
means.
Come and go.
I'm saying it's probably more acceptable there because obviously Nutella was talking about, it's illegal to do that and you get 6 months. That nigga got no jail time from doing that. That nigga got.
I wasn't saying he was gonna get jail time. I was just
I'm
saying.
not
it's-
saying you said that. I'm saying
that's what
it
you
didn't
told me.
happen. I'm saying it didn't happen. You said it could happen. I'm saying it did not happen. So in the fact that he did not get any punishment whatsoever for what happened, we can pretty much say that what he did was in that context was at least somewhat acceptable.
Maybe
even
he
in front of
was
those
out
other
the
people.
country before the video went public. Like I wouldn't imagine them having like a tons of people like surrounding the pool, or maybe like I said, of
It makes-
celebrities.
It makes it okay because there was no legal trouble.
No, I'm
Is
saying
that the argument you're making?
no.
Sorry.
No,
He
but
didn't get into any trouble, not legal trouble. What trouble did he get into? Any at all?
Social
People
trouble.
coulda
in the
come-
U.S. There's a lot of. I mean, not like legal.
That's
but
not trouble.
we're having the entire conversation about like how he's. I mean, he says like, "Oh, I'm retired," then he's like, "I'm coming back every like month." Like it seems like he keeps hurting his
Chances.
what is reputation?
Yes.
Damaging his reputation.
I'm saying
Nobody's
I'm
going to
saying-
take that risk at
I'm
this
saying
point.
it is only wrong
being
if
right.
His
people,
career's over.
it is only wrong what he did if people there found it wrong what he did.
Well,
understand what I'm saying?
I'm
whoever
saying
was
this dude's gotten away with a literal laundry list of stuff in his face, no jail time or real consequences.
Did you hear what I said?
I mean,
I
in the
did hear
article
what
it
you said.
says
What'd
the
I
woman
say?
was seen by witnesses complaining to staff about the incident, which makes
We
it
need to
seem
hear
like
from the
woman-
we need to hear from the direct source. I'm not gonna
But
trust.
Those are two eyewitnesses, though.
No, we need to hear from the source that she had a trouble. We can't just take. That is not. An
I
eyewitness
thought it was the
interpretation
person
could be wrong.
videoing it, but like, do you think did it say the person in the pool? Because I wasn't sure.
Yeah, people were saying that the person in the pool
Was
had
complaining after.
was seen in the hotel complaining about it later. But I'm not gonna trust that. I need to hear from her because if you had a problem, just speak on that.
What's the point of reporting then?
I didn't.
Well, I mean,
I
she
didn't
could
think
be
of her
afraid.
as having it. I didn't think of the woman involved.
Afraid of
Like,
what?
I didn't see. I saw her like maybe like I mean AB's crazy. He could do that like to a random person. I would assume they had, like before you got to that point, you had some like type of decent conversation. My thing is I just don't imagine the pool being just the like little 4x16 frame that we like got to see. Like I assume there probably is other people at this pool, even if they're like laying out, and someone else could have easily seen it and still been like felt it like was disrespectful or felt it was inappropriate and complained.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with her complaining if she wants to complain. What would happen to her?
I mean, that's kind of it goes on to it not being consensual if she's complaining after.
That's
I
what
mean,
I'm saying. If
you
she
wouldn't-
complained, but we didn't hear a complaint from her.
we have two eyewitnesses that see
No,
her.
we have eyewitnesses saying that they heard her complain, but we don't have anybody. We don't have her saying that she complained.
Do you
There's
want them to
many-
name the eyewitnesses?
Are
Well,
you
who
are you
are
listening to
these?
what I'm?
I mean, honestly, it
Are you
doesn't
listening?
matter.
This
Like,
guy is not
like,
listening to
whether
what I'm
she,
saying. It's really annoying.
like, if
Yeah,
it wasn't
who
recorded,
are
if this
these
was like a private
eyewitnesses? Who are they
residence,
gonna?
like, I can understand you saying that, like, okay, as long as everyone involved consents, it's fine. But like, this is a public setting and a recording at that, so I feel like it can still be like an issue for
Yeah,
his
it's an
behavior as a
issue.
celebrity. We
It's
can
an
still
issue.
talk about it being a
It's
problem,
an issue. Like I guess
even if
people
all
are.
three of them were
We
fine with it.
we can talk about it, it being an issue, like how it looks from the outside in. I mean, yeah, we can talk about that. Like, Antonio Brown shouldn't have done that. But really, if it's all good between the parties that were involved, what's the harm done?
I'm saying there were
Yeah,
bystanders, there were random people around when this was going down. It wasn't
That's what
just two
I'm
people.
I'm saying,
yes,
like, this wasn't
yeah.
Antonio's
I am
private
Yeah,
pool
but
at
including
then
his
again,
house.
it's just
I am
degeneracy.
including those people. I am including those people in what I said. The people, parties involved includes the bystanders because
So you
they're
ever
Yeah,
heard of
because
a PR
there's harm,
department?
but it might
yes,
be a
I've heard
little
of a
bit of
Dream?
PR.
harm. But if it's just
Yeah,
random degeneracy, then it's just random degeneracy. But if there is actual like non-consensual tampering going on, and the woman who he was wrestling with was victimized, that's more of a problem than just random degeneracy. I mean, in the streets of like America and in the streets of Canada, we have literal slut walks that no one gives a fuck about.
yeah.
People
I live in
walking
San
around in
Francisco.
their lingerie.
Nakedness
So I
is
mean, it's
normal.
like so
I
it's
do.
like
I want to watch.
Random degeneracy is
in gay
my
pride
tramp
walks
stamp.
where like people are in
But
like
like,
underwear walking down the street. No one gives a fuck about that
Well,
either. I mean, it's like if it's just random degeneracy, then that's a problem. But that's not as much of a problem than if there was victimization.
what were you saying, Water?
I was saying, if you have a PR department or lawyers or other people that are going to quiet this thing down for you so you don't face the charges, there may not be an issue that you're going to hear about. They may take care of it all behind closed doors.
This is why I say
Everybody
if.
gets paid, done
This is why I
deal.
say if. I don't. That's why I'm saying if then statements. The if no one has a problem with it that was there, then it shouldn't be a problem for us. But if people there had a problem with it, then yeah, we can talk about how that's problematic. He shouldn't be. To be honest, the smartest thing for him to have done is to
Not
err
do
on the
that.
to err on the side of caution and prevent any possibility of people having a problem with what he did.
Yeah.
So yes, that is what he should have done. But
do you think flashing could be a serious crime?
In
And just
California,
just
it's a sex
follow me
crime.
here for a second. Follow me here for a second,
Any
right?
definition.
So it's definitely a crime within, like, at least here in the States, and I imagine fucking Dubai. But do you think that it should be a serious one, right? Like, we talk about, at least in lefty circles, we talk about how people should be
naked,
free to
no consequence.
Yeah, but like, well, at the very least, that our society is like hung up on sex, right? Like, and that, like, we see, like, we will happily have violence, right? Extreme violence within a film, but then when it comes to sex, and then that's like an issue, right? That we have sometimes be puritanical. So. Would it be better if we were saying that, hey, so people can show off their breasts, right, and their chests? Is it that big of a transgression to show off a penis, especially within an adult setting? It seemed like for that pool, right? You have an adult setting. We didn't see any kids because you could see more people within the frame, right, than the people involved. You could see more people within that frame, and it didn't seem like there were any children there. There could have been people like on the other side of the camera, maybe, but it didn't seem like there were any children there. In an adult setting, guy flashes his dick, right? Is that big of a deal?
Yeah, I think that when you're dealing with the public, like I think that we can have some standards for the way we handle society. Like, I'm not the person that's like anti-shame everything. Like, there should be some standard of what we consider moral efficacy or moral decency to exist in a public setting. That means put some, no shirt, no shoes, no pants, no surface. Like, I think that it's not because I'm like a Puritan, because like I said, if this was AB's private pool at his house, then I feel like do what you want. But like, like every people have different levels of things they're uncomfortable with. And because of that, I get it's like, oh, it's not your problem to, that it's not my problem that you're uncomfortable. But I feel like it should be to a degree when it comes to like things we can determine in society. Like, hey, put some clothes on. That, so everybody's not comfortable with that, But that doesn't apply to other things like being gay or like human rights. I don't think that being naked is a human right that can't be pushed upon in public.
Yeah,
Other
I
people?
think it's just a matter of, what we are willing as a society to have. I mean, I've been flashed by a crackhead in my community. She was masturbating in the street, high out of her mind. Gross, disgusting, crackhead. Did not like it. Thought it was really gross. But I didn't call the cops on her because I mean, she was going through a journey. She was having a time, and I was like, you know what, that's gross, but I'm going to move on about my day. I think it's bad. It's degenerate. It's awful. It's gross. But it's your life. You're gonna do what you're gonna do. I was 18 at the time, so I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal. But I don't think that flashing minors is like a crime, and I think that can put you on the sexual registry as a sex offender, as it should.
It doesn't have to be minors, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, but it has
I was
to
gonna
be
say,
yeah, but but for as like a crime to do it to adults, I would say make it a crime, but I don't think it should be like a felony with like years in prison. I think it's just be like you get fined heavily for it. I think, and just call it
heavy. I don't even know about heavily. I think it should be like $100 ticket. Like
it's not that serious. It's really.
I mean, if nothing else, unless you're on like a nude beach or some place that's designated for that, because there are places for that.
Yeah.
Like the pool, unless it's like a nude pool, is not a dick out place.
It looks like a regular hotel in Dubai.
It's not.
We're not in the designated dick out zone. No.
No.
I was just wondering.
We should just like make some signs, some dick out zones.
Yeah, I got to put one for the street, right? Designated.
I'm for it.
I want to get some perspective because I'm curious about what you guys think about. There's a difference between you naked under a trench coat and you going to people and showing them the holy water, and then there's a difference between being a nudist and walking outside of your home naked and doing everything naked. And when they first see you, the corner of your eye, you're already naked. Versus you, boom, vroom. You know what I'm saying? Is there a significant difference in that? Should people be punished differently?
You're talking about like intention.
I'm anti-nudist too.
Oh, of course you are, right? You're fucking Southern.
What'd you say?
But no, sorry.
I mean, you can be a nudist, just do it inside the house.
But no,
like
I think
don't be out there mowing the lawn.
There was a big
What Dream is trying to get to is like, at least I think what he's trying to get to is intentions, right? Like, if it's a person who's like trying to live the nudist lifestyle, right? Then the point is just to be nude in public, right? And maybe normalize that. But like flasher, right? Like a trench coat flasher is doing that literally to like assault women, right? To make women feel uncomfortable. And so like, does that matter? The intentions? One way or the other, I saw your dick.
I'm gonna say in California, if you get caught taking a leak by a cop or whatever, you have to register as a sex offender.
Not just in California.
I'm sure it's in other places. I can just say for sure there. I think that's excessive. It wasn't your intent to flash anyone, so like that shouldn't be the case. But if you are walking around naked, you need to understand that you are violating people's consent in that case. You should be somewhere where that is already accepted. Otherwise, you face the consequences, and it is what it is.
I wouldn't even put that on like a sex offender list. But I think it's again.
I think it's like if you're
exposing
yourself near children. If you're like in a school in a zone where children are known to be at or a time, and the cops catch you again, then they'll put you in jail and they'll definitely put you in the sex offenders registry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because like we in San Francisco, you see naked people all the time just roaming the streets. Even when I was in high school, I would go outside. I see naked nigga. I'm like, oh my god.
Out there Rugrat style.
Especially when they had a Pride Parade. You saw nothing but naked people here all the time. And it's like, at some point it's like, okay, it's not that bad. it's like it's bad, but it's like okay, but it's like
So okay,
it's ugly. You know what I'm
I-
saying? It's like when you look at somebody ugly, it's like but it's you ugly.
okay. So I wanna like go over this, right? Because I think it's pretty interesting. So our friend Jay Cook in chat, shout out to Jay Cook, who unfortunately couldn't be with us tonight, said that she had been flashed before, and it was a violation because it wasn't any consent involved. And I get that, I get that. But I'm on so my Instagram feed, if you saw that, it's a very distinct theme to that.
Okay, girls.
Only follow Instagram models, right? Like I only follow that. Like that's I don't care. There's like 2 people that I actually know, and like 1 or 2 actors, but like beyond that, like it's like just Instagram models. In my feed, right? And some of them, right, like are also do like OnlyFans and stuff like that. And they do stunts in public, right? They do like risque stunts. I'm thinking of one in particular, one woman, her name is Francety, Francety. This one's got a body on her. But she
Spell that again?
Farncety. I believe that's how I spell her name. And she does like stunts all the time. Like, and I'm sure she's like, flashed her boobs at some point. And like, so I think a lot of people here would consent to it, but you would consent to it after the fact, right? You can't consent to it before because you don't know what's going to happen, right? You're hoping for it maybe, but you can't consent to it beforehand.
Non-verbal consent.
Non-verbal consent. Just me existing near her is non-verbal consent. Let me make that very clear. But then on the other side, like there's a person who can, like, I'm imagining that the crack addicted lady that Al was talking about, and I can imagine something pretty fucking vile happening there. Like, I got a unfortunately really good imagination for that shit. Seen too much. So, but should we strive for a society that when we're not shocked either way, where like a very attractive, very voluptuous woman walking down the street and doing something fun like isn't like a big deal, or that like what Al saw, like, hey, that's weird, but whatevs. Like, is that a world that we should strive for?
So this is something really specific to me, but the relationship I was in before my last one, she was extremely insecure. We'd end up in a huge fight just from her seeing a girl in a magazine. If some voluptuous woman showed up and flashed in front of her, I would never hear the end of that. That would ruin my day.
It was your fault, because it's your fault that she came and flashed you.
Of course, that's what it would be by the end of that.
But I think let's be real. Let's be fucking for real. Let's be really fucking for real. And let's be really honest with ourselves. The only reason that you're okay with a woman flashing you is because you think she's attractive. But if an ugly ass flash you, you'd be like,
yeah.
So it's not about whether or not it's a woman. It's about if it's a good looking person.
But I'm saying, like, should we get past that, right? Should we get past the point?
No. I think we have our right to be disgusted at ugly people. I think everybody has that right.
Everyone has that right.
I feel like this
conversation anti-degeneracy too, as well. Like, we should not be accepting people just having the urge to just flash people willy-nilly on the street.
Now the question,
I gotta say, the reason the problem is, it's because nakedness isn't normalized. So until we destigmatize nakedness, we're always going to have some sort of. Absolutely not. We absolutely should not. We wouldn't have these shocking issues going on where we're seeing things we don't want to see. It'd be normal. Nobody would even bat an eye. It wouldn't be indecent.
Be normal.
Why?
It should not be normal for some random dude or some random woman to flash a kid.
It wouldn't be flashing. We'd just be naked.
No, but I
agree. Flashing means like
I disagree with
revealing.
Hold on,
right?
I disagree with that.
Nakedness just
but
like
it's all about, are we holding like I go back and forth all the time on like should we hold the standard equally across the board? Whatever's like we consider acceptable. Because like I know New York in particular, like toplessness is just something that's like legally due. If you're a man or a
Yeah.
woman, like people can be top. Like if you
Yeah.
can be top, human beings can be
Really?
topless.
New York
And
State or the city?
No,
The city.
you can be naked
I
in
don't
Times
know
Square.
about the entire state, yeah. But so and whenever I like heard about that, I was like, wait a minute, women just be like, it's not super common, but women can just be titties out if they feel like it. And
We call them heroes. Go ahead.
Thank you.
I was torn, like, should like they have our bodies are very different, but if we're going to make a rule, should it be the same across the board? Should we just like
Yeah, we
like
should
everybody has
actually
to
do
wear
that.
pants, but like if a guy can be shirtless and be super fine, then like a woman can also do the same thing. And I was like, like I lean towards, I'm like 75% like yeah, it should be the same, but I'm also like, am I saying that because it's true, or am I saying that to like satisfy some internal desire?
Both
Like,
can be true. Both can be true. Okay.
I was about to
alright,
say,
so-
I'm not sure why it's got to be either or.
well, no, because we
Because
can we can literally say that like no, men and women are different. Like so like there's no reason to pretend that they should be held to the same standards when it comes to what body parts are sexualized. That could be a completely legitimate
I
argument.
understand your point.
don't know if
I
I
understand
leave
your
that
point, Bam. But men and women are different, and we sexualize them differently. But then you see other cultures where that's not the case, and where body parts are not sexualized. So there is a standard that we could strive to go for.
Mhm.
It's not like we have to stay in our way. That's not truism.
Yeah, but just because we can change doesn't mean we should change.
There is no should. It's all about preference, Isle of Isles. Come on, you should know this. There's no
Yeah,
this is
I mean, yeah,
preference.
I prefer
There's no
not to have
should
people
here.
degenerately in the streets. I'm
There's
sorry,
no
I prefer that.
degenerate just means away from the norm, which is not
Yeah,
inherently
we
bad
should
in itself.
establish norms and enforce them. Yes.
Yeah, but being of the norm and deviating from the norm, for example, somebody with a non-traditional job is technically a degenerate, has a degenerate job. But just having a
That's not we use that word colloquially.
Yeah.
We know what degenerate means.
I'm sure, but whatever what does degenerate mean? Degenerate just means
Maybe deviant, maybe, but see,
deviating.
we don't use that word that
I
way.
understand you defining a word, but there's also like the use for this conversation. We understand like colloquially what we're talking about.
So okay, please tell me how we're using deviant in this colloquial tense.
Well, I would assume things that we behaviors in society that we deemed immoral or
Immoral?
We can just Google this shit. Like we could.
But we're not even.
I don't think it has anything to do with
I don't know if
morality.
the Google definition necessarily
So-
fits what we're using it for in the conversation.
So don't
Maybe it will.
want to be the one who's telling a whole bunch of women that they have to cover up and that we don't. I objectively know that no one wants to see my nipples.
Yeah, it says.
I mean, that is not the same for that's not the same case for women.
Taking a survey?
It says departing from usual or accepted standards, especially in social or sexual behavior, which makes sense.
I did take a survey at one time.
That's how
That's
we're
fair.
using the word, right, Bam?
I guess accepted, departing from accepted social norms, yeah.
Right, and accepted social norms changes all the time. So in the future, we could accept new social norms.
Yeah, but just because, like I said, just because we can accept it,
and I'm
just because
saying
we can change doesn't mean we should do that.
Right, and I'm saying as long as it's like not harming people, like inherently, it is
But
whatever it
just
is.
because
people are
but
harmed.
we don't know if it will harm people.
That's why I said inherently. We do know what harms people inherently.
But we know some
No.
social norms do
That's-
hurt people and have caused even serial killers to get away with killing people for years.
What are you talking about?
Like back when John Wayne Gacy was killing people, there were gay men that went and told the cops, and because they were gay, they weren't even listened to. Nobody even looked into it. So
Oh, yeah,
because of that
that's
social
abuse.
norm that
What-
we don't like gay people, we're not going to even look into this. We're not going to give it any sort of scrutiny.
Yeah, but that's a social norm that inherently harms gay people.
Yeah,
Well, it harmed
social
people
norms
in
can harm
general.
people is what we're
It wasn't
saying.
only gay people that died in that
Yeah,
case.
yeah.
So it was that social norm. So if
But
nudity could
That-
save lives, I mean, why not?
Thick thighs
But
save
nudity-
lives.
I don't think
Nudity
nudity
can
would
harm
save
lives.
lives. I don't think nudity would save lives, and I don't think nudity would inherently harm or save life. I think it's a morally permissible, morally neutral thing to do. It's just whatever society is, the context for the society is their preference, and they can make whatever rules they want. So we
Well, obviously,
we
but I
used
think we should
we used to be
prefer
like
society
nuns.
where we don't have people nude around. Okay.
Sure, you could prefer that, but your preference.
I'm saying society as a whole should prefer that.
And
The government
you're,
prefers it.
you're
So
saying
society should
you're-
adapt your thought process on this. What evidence or argument do you have for that?
Wait a minute. Are we having this conversation where like, well, it's not like, are we doing the objective meme where like it's not objectively harmful? So why can't like I can say that, you know what, I don't want somebody to walk around with like leather and like 2 dildos as nipples because like technically it's all clothing. Like we can have some like let's not do this.
I mean, it's kind of hilarious.
First of all, that's fine with me. Like, do you?
Right,
That's
but
a
there's a lot of
thing.
people that's not fine with.
That's what I'm saying. So it's all about
society.
That's what I'm saying. It's preference. Like we're not talking about.
When we establish that preference across the society, I'm saying it's not personal choice. I'm saying the society, the majority of society is saying,
I agree.
Let's not do that, and I think that's better. Because
right, and you think it's not better for whatever arbitrary reason that you want to give, and that's fine.
No, it's not.
And I'm saying that's
argument for
I'm
why
saying
we
that's
should
fine.
adopt a puritanical view on nipples.
And I'm saying that's fine, man.
Read the dildo nipples.
I'm saying that's fine. It's okay. It's okay to not accept nudity as a society. It's fine. It's all about preference. But I'm saying it's also okay for this preference to change over time to accept nudity. Both are equally fine stances.
Sure,
okay,
but I'm saying
that
the same would be true for something like let's not go down this route. Like this is just I'm saying that like everything we determine is by like the society that we live in. Like everything's arbitrary. The age of consent is arbitrary, but that doesn't mean that just because it's arbitrary doesn't mean that it's not mapping onto a real idea that we have. Like we're not trying to do some social good, even if we can't objectively prove it. Like saying that you can't have sex with 18-year-olds doesn't mean that you're now protecting, like you're making sure that everyone's mentally capable of having sex.
Yeah,
you're just
but
doing an arbitrary rule for some general good. Like maybe we want people to put clothes on because there's probably some number of people in society that like that socially would socially be uncomfortable, and we're trying to appeal to not the lowest common denominator, but a lower common denominator to make people feel warm and accepted.
But
and safer as well.
There's
it's
a
easier to rape people who are naked.
Come on, brother.
I don't think that's the reason.
Are you telling me that if you were in like 15 layers of clothing, it'd be harder to rape you than if you were naked?
Are you kidding me? Are you serious? Do you think that's
why?
why?
No clothes. Someone wants it bad enough.
I don't like where this is going.
No. I got a great kind of argument for Isle. I think you see a lot of rapes in countries where women cover up, and that's the norm. Like Saudi Arabia, Middle East, Morocco, a lot of people where it's normal to cover up, and this like lust is true. This lust is like built in these men because they just want to see these women naked so much. Now, if we have a society where
because they have a societal standard where in their holy text it says that women need to cover up because men have these lusts, and if they were to see them fully naked, they'd turn into animals and jump on them in a second. But apparently,
it does the opposite effect.
Is not enough in their sense, and they still get preyed upon. So imagine if they were naked, those people would just be raping them all the time.
Okay, first of all, sorry. This is where because you don't understand sexual assault. Most sexual assault happens between people you know, right, within your house. So it doesn't matter again what kind of what clothes you got on, and
I'm not saying that that's a reason why. I'm just saying that it is physically easier to rape you when you are naked.
This is not a reason for our non-nudity laws.
I'm saying it's ease of access. It's a procedural issue.
That's a really dumb point, though. It's like a dumb point.
It's not a correct point.
No, it's not. Correct. Oh my God.
He's right. He's right.
We're really gonna die on the hill.
He's logically.
It'd be harder to. It'd be easier to rape you than if you were butt naked. Prime, you're gonna die on this hill.
Are you gonna die on this hill? That this makes any fucking difference when it comes to rapists, to people being raped? Like and you don't even understand that it's not even about lust, right? Like lust.
Say it was.
No, hold on.
Issue.
Okay, whatever. I don't care.
Procedural issue.
Sorry, I'm not gonna.
Okay, so in nudist colonies, there's just serial rapes going on, and nobody can stop it. They're defenseless. They're just screwed.
Well, they would be literally defenseless if they don't have anything on them. They're naked.
No,
Okay,
bro. Like
great.
if what you're saying is true, I mean, what you're saying is technically true, but it doesn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah,
technically
but
true. We can
but
leave it
why?
at that, Dream. It's
But it's
Technically true
technically
is
true.
that's
it's
kind of
It's
true.
also
but
ridiculous.
I'll it being technically true and it's also irrelevant to what we're talking about.
If somebody rapes you, they don't care how many layers of clothes you
It's
have.
technically true. It's easier to rape somebody
They're not.
if you wanted to, if they were naked, than not. Even though technically true, it's irrelevant to what we're talking about because that nudity.
It's easy to steal from a house if the door's open, but that's clear.
Okay, so waiting for stream to start. Hey everyone, I hope you guys can hear me. Let me know. You guys let me know if the audio is back. Hear you now. Thanks. All right, great. Yeah, I don't know, man. That happens sometimes. It has happened in a long time, but it does. Like the screen, just like my computer screen, it just was like a quick flash. Then all of a sudden, there's some sort of interruption, and there's no way to get audio back without me restarting my computer. So it is what it is. So anyway, hopefully we didn't lose too many. How that works. All right. Here we go. We're gonna go back into it. All right.
The body from collapsing on him because he literally is about, he's going into nearly his 50 years old and
I wonder
playing
how
with
good his
like
shoulder is,
300
though.
pound. Yeah. Like
Like,
he'll be able to throw probably for a while until he's in his 60s. But it's like other things to being a professional athlete. Like at
Yeah,
that
those
age.
hits pile up.
Yeah, but I don't see him playing for much more. So why? I wonder why she couldn't just like stick it out a little bit
It was
more.
the principle, the fact that like they had agreed to a deal, like okay, like 45, I'm calling it, and then he was like, you know what, like he went home for like a month. He was like, nah, I'm going back. It was like she was just sick of it. I think that's
There you
reasonable.
go.
Like you never want to be with your family.
I don't
We
know.
talked
I don't know
about
if
this. I
it's
put my
reasonable.
career on pause.
Seems
and then
reasonable
yet
to me.
again,
It's
you
reasonable.
chose yourself.
I understand if it's reasonable. Like I feel like he should be able, because let's think about it. We're not talking about his later years, right? We're talking about his whole career, 23 years. He said he never spent that much time with his family. And
And
all
eventually the
What
family's
are we
gonna
talking
get
about?
pissed off.
Oh, we're
Tom
talking
Brady.
about why
We're talking
Tom
about Tom
Brady's
Nothing important.
which you should know who that is at least, Prime.
I know who Tom Brady is.
Okay. Yeah,
Sounds
we're
Tom
talking
Brady.
about why his divorce is happening, likely because of, like I said, the fact that he has picked himself over his family time and time again, or picked his career over his family. Listen to that.
Yeah, I'm not one to judge about how someone raises their kids, but have you seen the videos of Tom Brady kissing his kids on the lips?
What's wrong with that?
You.
Nothing. I mean, nothing's wrong with that. It's just
There's a lot wrong with that.
it's
That's
just
that
don't
meme I
know.
sent you, Kai.
Oh, actually, no, Brian. You said you and your parents still kiss, right? Lips.
Yeah,
But where have Tom
my
Brady's mouth
entire
been?
life. Yeah, my parents are kissing the lips.
Yeah, I
Those are
still
different.
kiss
It
my
does feel
mom
weird.
on the lips, like give a peck.
Yeah.
And my dad too sometimes.
That
Yeah.
would weird me out so
Mom
much.
and dad.
You
a little jarring.
ain't
It's a little jarring
you
to
ain't
me.
from the U.S.
I
And
did till I
if
was
you,
like
if
4 or
you,
5.
it's a culture divided thing. If you didn't grow up doing it, then you're gonna think it's weird.
Yeah.
That's just the way it
I
is.
grew up
Yeah.
doing it.
I didn't grow up
until
doing
like
it, so.
7, and then at like 7, I was like, okay, like me and my mom still kiss on the cheek, but like
It's not romantic. It's just like
I mean, my dad's not
it's
like
a
Yeah.
family bond. It's
Yeah, I
a
wasn't-
family bond at all.
I
Like, you know what I'm
wasn't saying
saying?
it was
Like,
romantic.
no, I'm saying that's why it's not weird to me, because I
Yeah.
don't see it in a romantic or a sexual manner. I
Yeah.
see, oh, that's my mom. Cool. This is how we bond. Cool.
I could definitely
Yeah.
No, but
understand.
people, French people like kiss
family,
their
for sure.
kiss their friends and strangers. So like, it's not even shaming it. I just personally
Wait,
like, yeah,
Kiss
I
their
wouldn't
friends
do
and
that.
strangers on the lips.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, some
Like,
people.
common
Yeah,
friends.
some people. Well, I don't know. I think they
kiss
mostly
on the
kiss on the
cheek.
cheek. I think they mostly
Yeah, I was
kiss on
gonna
the
say
cheek.
we
There's
kiss
like-
on the
there's-
cheek.
No, but it's
No,
not
he's talking about
cheek.
France. He's talking about France. I think some people do kiss on the lips.
Yeah,
for
that's still
the-
cheek.
and
We
some-
do that. Yeah, Morocco.
No,
does
some
that.
people do kiss like strangers on the lips. In some cultures, but
Okay, that's
I don't know.
that. Okay,
I
that's
gotta,
almost
I gotta
too
know
weird.
I gotta know that.
Like, I gotta at least know who you are.
so I can stay away from that because I'm not trying to be.
I don't know. I put
Hey, stranger.
I put my tongue down the throats of people I don't know. I don't have like a good idea of the women.
Just go to the
Of
bar.
all the people that I like, I do a lot more about the same information. So I don't know.
Your tongue to reach that far.
Like, and I think all of you would too, right? If she's hot enough. Going back to the topic, if she's hot enough, you'll put your tongue down her throat, but you're like, oh wow, it's weird to kiss a stranger on the lips. I don't know.
In a fucking heartbeat, Prime. In a fucking heartbeat.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder where people's mouths have been.
And you don't have, and
really
you don't have
do.
to know it. You don't know how to know her name, and you do it. So all right, then.
when you a bouncer, I'm sure you done slid into some.
You was a
random
bouncer,
woman.
Prime?
No, Kai.
Oh, okay.
No, not my thing.
Really? So no woman from the bar or club or
Oh,
wherever.
I've been sexually assaulted many times.
Yeah, they grab at you.
It's just not my thing.
Not sexual, son. This old 58-year-old woman was touching on me today, and I didn't want to embarrass her in front of everybody, bro. She was like,
got
rubbing
sexually assaulted. Enjoy.
In public.
she was rubbing at me like this, and I'm like, I don't even
You
know.
was
I
out
just-
there showing off.
Yeah, there was this one place where I worked where every night before you left, the owner had to grab your ass.
It's
Oh,
just
no.
crazy.
That doesn't sound like
Yeah.
something that was in the contract.
That sounds like an HR issue.
Oh.
I think I have a. I wish I could do a MILF. Like I feel like I may be out of the game,
What?
sadly. But like I never got to do a real MILF. When I was like 19, I did a 32.
Hey, that's your
girl-
girlfriend behind you.
She knows about it. We've spoke about this. But yeah, but when I say I don't think 50. I think like maybe like 41. But it didn't count if I'm 41 too. Like 41. If she was now, if she was like 41. Like yeah, I think that would be fun. I don't know if I'm gonna get.
Oh, then you're just 61, right? Then.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
What's
Unless, actually, how old is Regina Hall now? She's in her 50s.
Yeah,
Regina
the
Hall
6-year-olds can be hot. Like I think people like go down
Angela
whole hard
Bassett.
at 70.
Long.
But like 6-year-olds can be like super hot. That's the thing. That
I feel like it's rare to look hot at 60. It's rare. I'm pretty sure we can count. I'm pretty sure we can count five to 10 people like that we think are hot at 60.
You taking Angela Bassett down?
I mean, Neil
No,
Long's
I am.
51.
yeah, right.
She's too wrinkly
Neil Long's
for me.
51.
Too
Yeah,
wrinkly.
and Neil Long's 51. Yeah, I'm taking up through that, especially
too.
for brother Udo.
Regina
Like,
Hall's 51. Wow.
yeah.
But we talk about 60.
Black,
I ain't-
don't
Yeah.
crack.
Especially since Ime Udoka fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah.
In their light swimwear.
Like I'm saying, like yeah, like there are some 6-year-olds who are attractive. Like I like people. 70 is when
fair.
things go off the cliff, right? Like
What's
it's just your
your-
body is
what-
like it's giving up. But 60
I
you
gotta-
can actually be hot.
60 is like when your wrinkles really start showing. Like
Yeah,
50,
I mean you have a more wrinkly face,
I'm
but
just
like
not attracted to that wrinkle stuff.
I
You can't- you're not telling me that like I like you could say it, Dream, and maybe that's you, but like you can't tell me you can look at Angela Bassett and like, nah, I couldn't do it, bro.
I can look at the younger version of herself, but right now, no.
where's Michelle
Yeah.
Obama?
She looks like a
Angela
grandma
Bassett's-
right now. I'm just not into that. Like I'm not an Anglo, whatever file that is.
The
Yeah,
angle
it's not-
file.
A Bassett file.
Whatever the old person file is. Gyro file, is that what it's called?
Geriatrics.
Geria file, whatever it is. Older.
Oh, I'm looking up. Okay, Michelle Obama is 58 years old.
Yeah, I do that too.
She is 2 years from 60. Right?
I'm not. That's not me. When she was younger, sure.
But
maybe.
Michelle Obama, the way she looks.
Out?
Yeah.
Let me think about it.
I'm 24. You gotta understand, bro. Like,
So I don't care. I don't.
I'm 25.
Who gives a shit?
No,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, for
Michelle
me,
Obama.
like I'm looking at what
Yeah, I'll
what's
do it.
around my,
Would you do it for the
vicinity.
status? Would you do it for the
Relate-
status?
Well, I wouldn't need the status.
Yeah. How about do it for the stat? I don't care about the
I
status.
don't know. It's just
Yeah,
not
yeah.
me.
It's like I don't know. Whatever. Okay, I guess it's just a difference of opinion, right? Like you just have to leave it at that. But yeah, I would definitely do a 6-year-old. Like
Now,
hot
Regina
one.
Hall, Neil Long, different story.
At 60?
No, right now. We don't know.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, it's at 50. All right, well, whatever. But okay, so
Everybody trying to get in Ime Udoka's spot, I see.
All right.
What about Kelly
so-
Rowland?
Okay, sorry. Let's not do this anymore. We've got it.
You want to get back into it, or are we gonna just roll on? We still got like 30 minutes left.
Yeah. Let's keep going. Our friend Joe Lewis wants to come into the second topic. So I hope he said he will be here around 10, hopefully. So we'll try to keep up for that. All right. So yeah. What kind of society do we want to create? That's where we're at previously. I think that a society where nudity is more accepted, I think, is a better one. I think on all levels. I think it makes it. I think it would make it harder even to be assaulted, like at least like visually. If these things were accepted, okay, like you want to flash your dick, but yeah, I've seen dicks on the L train before, right? Like it's like no big deal. I think it would be better for society overall if we had a more relaxed view of nudity, and if it's just the body, right? Like it's just a body, it's just a body. There's some bodies you're gonna like, some bodies you don't, but that should be besides the point. What do you think?
And
I think no.
Body.
Why?
Why?
I just don't like it. I think, well, one, I'm particularly against it, and two, I just
Not
think
a fan of
that
titties,
we shouldn't have kids be walking around seeing random adults that they don't know and just naked with their dicks swinging around, because then that's gonna cause issues, because people are gonna
What issues?
You're gonna sexualize the kids.
Kids
You're gonna what?
sexualize themselves from a young age. Kids sexualize themselves from a young age. I remember when I was a kid, I was unreasonably. I was like, why am I like looking back? I'm like, why was I sexualizing myself this young? I'm like, but it's just like, and every other kid was doing it too. And it's like, I guess we just like horny for whatever, or not horny, but we're just like, how do you say? We all know about the stories when niggas play house. We all know about the stories niggas playing doctor. Them niggas did that shit on their own. Niggas is just curious at that young of an age. We sexualize ourselves.
That doesn't mean that you need to feed those urges by just slinging dick in front of them.
We're not saying sling dick. Obviously, the
Why
action.
is it always dick?
You know what I'm saying? We're not saying while naked do this.
Sling. Why can't it be like present?
He makes it seem like people are just walking around doing the helicopter, just shit, like helicopter.
Walking around doing the Ric Flair.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, if you don't got it like that, like I do, well, then that's your problem.
All right.
Are you opposed to
then you should be more pro nudity.
I was gonna say all of are you against going like walking down the street and red light district in S&M and seeing like naked girls on the windows? You hate that idea?
No, I don't hate that idea, but that's also it's the TPO, time, place, and occasion. If you're on holiday and you're wanting to go down to the red light district specifically for some sexual content, that's perfectly fine. I think that's okay, and you should generally have that if you're adults. But I don't want that to be normalized that we just like have kids walking around the street and then all of a sudden as they're trying to go to the corner store, the door swings open and out swings a dick. Like I don't want that. Or some pussy. Like I don't want that.
Let's say
you don't want to be surprised by it. Now that I can definitely understand.
I understand you don't want to be surprised by it, but you wouldn't be surprised by it in a very accepting society. Like for example, I was surprised by it at first when San Francisco first legalized nudity and niggas was naked on the bus and shit and outside on the street. I was like, oh my god. But after a year or two, I'm like, okay, I mean that's normal. It's San Francisco. So it's like you get desensitized pretty rapidly.
I mean, I pass through Times Square every day almost on my way to work, and the naked cowboy's out there every day. He has just a guitar, and that's literally it. So I mean, and I have no problem with it. I mean,
I have a question: if nudity is bad because it's sexualized, I'm just curious. Why would public sex be bad? Is there a reason?
Excuse me?
In some places, it's
for the same reason
legal unless they change the laws in Prague.
What does Prime think? That's what I'm curious about. What did Prime think about public sex? It's just a natural thing, right?
Prime was trying to avoid being involved in this conversation.
Well, he started this. He's gonna finish it.
I feel like that's sexual. At least
I'm gonna finish
you're
inside of
involving
it.
others in your
But
in your actual sex.
So what do I think? I put thought into it previously. I don't know. I think okay. Here's the real problem with public sex, right? Is that like once you open the door to sex, then like we can define that in all kinds of ways. People get up to some crazy shit. And like, well, I think that two people loving each other, right, and standard positions is a very natural thing. I think that other people get involved and do some like I've seen other things on the internet that's called sex. I don't know if I would expose everyone to that stuff. So that would be the reason why I would do it, because we couldn't put a limiting factor on it. I don't know if we could, right? Like, oh, just, like just missionary. I don't know. Like, I don't think it was gonna work once you open that door. But other than that, like, I guess I don't have a huge issue with it. But I just don't think it's workable. Things will just get out of hand too quickly there.
Yeah, how can someone else consent to being like, if you're talking about like voyeurs, like people watching you have sex, or people being present for you having sex? I don't feel like you can get their consent for them to participate in your sex act. And I'm not saying it's like, oh, you're sexually assaulting them, but I think it's harassment.
It depends, right? I think it depends where you're like, you see people having sex in your vicinity versus people like chasing you down, making sure you watch them have sex in their vicinity, right? So it's like, if you see people having sex in your vicinity, just walk the other way, go around them, or do this. So
what if it's by the meat section at Walmart?
Just don't
look at the meat section. Yes.
See, you're asking
going on.
Actually, it wouldn't be allowed at Walmart because Walmart is a private company and probably wouldn't allow that, right? So
okay, well, it's outside.
We're talking about public nudity, public sex, which is like at a public park, on a sidewalk, maybe even in a public building. I don't know. Can you imagine walking to City Hall?
It just gets too wild, right? Like, you know how like people have those like flash dances, right? Where all of a sudden everyone's dancing. Imagine.
Flash orgy?
I don't see it.
I
don't see it happening.
Strikes noon.
I don't see it happening on like, if in a hypothetical world where this does exist, I don't see it happening in a public bus or a public building, because
it's the only place it can happen. You just said it couldn't be in private places.
No. The reason why is because even though these are technically public places because they're taxpayer funded, you could still be like trespassed and asked to leave, and that's okay by the city worker or whoever is working there. But you can't be asked to leave a sidewalk or yeah. So I don't think you could be asked to leave a sidewalk, because nobody owns that really.
That would be like loitering times 10. Like, you're not just standing there, you getting it in there.
But loitering is without a purpose. What if your purpose was procreation?
No.
If you allow sex in public, you gotta allow masturbation as well, right?
Yeah, it's like, and it gets unsanitary, right? Like, yeah.
You would question everywhere you eat.
I want someone jacking off next to me on the subway.
Yeah.
The law could be that you have to clean up after yourself.
You gotta go, when you go to a restaurant.
I wouldn't want that in the first place.
Semen is projectile. Semen is projectile.
You guys are closed-minded right now. You gotta put yourself in the shoes of where this is okay.
Oh my God, y'all! That was an A-level joke. Now I have to repeat it because y'all didn't hear it. It's not gonna be as funny the second time.
Okay, what's the joke? I'm sorry, I missed it.
It wasn't that funny.
I was saying you got to go to a restaurant. You got to pick stroking or non-stroking. The department, and it's like it's not good. But that was
okay. That is actually pretty good.
Are you sure that's mayonnaise?
What section would you like to go to?
Oh God!
What if they had that?
This is not mayonnaise.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Like in mayonnaise, it wasn't. What kind was that? Was that Alaska?
No, they're gonna say it's a whole roll.
In
special
sauce.
sauce.
I'm never going to Subway ever.
These are also
I'm never
not
going to Subway
truffles.
ever.
You never go to any restaurant or a burger place that has special sauce.
Nah, mayonnaise. Aioli? Nah, fuck that.
You have
Nah.
to specifically say what sauce. They don't special no more.
Oh man, yeah. Like I think it's just like my problem is that like people would be, it would just be too hard to manage, right? Like people get up to some wild shit, right? So like and then again like it's like there's a reason why doctors wear gloves when they collect samples, right, of like semen and shit, right? Like this shit's like it's a hazard, it's like biohazard, you know. So I wouldn't want that being
We'd
like
all get
splashed
herpes.
around kids, right?
Wash
Like
your hands.
We already all got herpes.
yeah, pretty much. But yeah, just like it's projectile. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, but just like it doesn't have to be a projectile. You can have a paper towel right in front of the entrance.
All I'm saying is we can make Plan B pills free and solve a lot of these problems.
Yeah, I
There we
don't know.
go.
Yeah, I just like I'm just saying.
Yeah,
It's just,
why is it $50? That's
doesn't
a
make
crime.
sense.
Yo, it is a crime because they're literally $3 at the most where I live.
Whoa.
No
Yeah.
way you can find a
And I mean
for
that-
$3 in these United States of America.
Thailand.
I live in Thailand.
That'll do it.
Okay.
I
That will-
actually brought some back to hand out to some like the younger family members who may need it after
You
the
bu-
Republicans
you
go
buy
after the Republicans go after contraceptives. That might be the only
That was
emergency a lot of folks have.
so
Give me 100.
expensive.
Give me 100. I give you 300 for 100.
I had to buy that once. That
I
shit
was about to
was,
say,
You
if
and
I
Jay
make
can
it
be
down
getting
to
at it, boy.
homecoming, I'll give
shit
it
was
to you
like
for free.
40, 45 bucks. That shit was wild. I was on
Man, be
and
finna
for
be
one
playing
pill.
That's worth it. Better than $1
We
million.
can always take up
No,
a collection
true.
for the community. I'll mail some back.
Look,
once
sure,
I
I
back
get
home.
it. It's a steal in terms of like, you know, paying it for a kid for 18 years. I get it, but like still, that's a lot of fucking money, man. Like, I was unhappy about that, but
In fact, some people gotta be. Imagine you become homeless because you nutted inside a girl because you couldn't afford a Plan B because you didn't have the $50, and because you didn't have the $50, now you gotta pay child support, and now you can't pay child support, so you gotta give away your house. You can't afford rent. You can't afford. Damn, bro, off of a nut, you homeless.
man,
describing
like, what is
reality.
it like in
Yes.
your world, Dream? Like,
Is this actually what happens now?
No, I'm telling you, that's literally reality. It's not my world.
I like that now. I mean, to it, yes, that, but like with way more steps. Like she's gonna say, "Don't worry, I'm good." And he's like, "You sure?" Like, "Yeah, we timed it right." And he's like, I don't know if like someone's like, "I need the pill, but I can't get $50 together." Oh God! Like, I don't know if it's that extreme, but people like chance it because they feel like keeping the money in their pocket. Like, she's
Exactly. But if they just had Plan B hanging around, it wouldn't even be an issue.
Yeah,
Because
you
if
probably
have
wouldn't
to-
chance
If
it.
you have to
Yeah.
decide on,
Pop
do I
that
want,
shit.
do I
I had
have
a
dinner
homeboy
tonight,
that
or
used
do
to
I want a
name
Plan
them
B?
Or
What'd
his
you say?
girl used to.
Oh
I
yeah,
had a,
Yeah.
Josh, my bad.
Yeah, sorry. No, it depends. If you have to realize, do I want food for this week, or do I want to buy Plan B? I mean, $50 is what? How many meals?
how many
I mean,
happy
maybe
meals?
aspirations.
But like, yeah, like, yeah. I mean, I hear you. Like, some people have to make tough choices.
Yeah.
And like, I could afford it at the time, but like, I could see people not affording it and just like thinking about all the other things you got to pay for. So
Weed money or Plan B?
Yeah, one of my
It's a tough
homeboys,
decision.
his girlfriend used to name the boxes,
This 8th or Plan B?
which
Which one
was
do
a
I
pretty
want?
effed up thing to do.
the boxes.
Yeah, Plan B used to come in like a.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
and
she
she's-
kept the boxes.
And she named. They had like 8, and she like they were like all different children, like Jamal and Corey.
no.
And she went over and she introduced me to all of them.
That's absolutely
was like-
terrifying. I'd have been like, all right, I'm gonna go get some condoms from the store.
I
And
love
block.
that.
They
I
just kept
actually love
doing it
that.
though.
And block.
I actually love that.
That's hilarious.
I'm gonna steal that one. I'm gonna steal.
Yeah, I'd have had to sneak out the window. That would have been terrifying.
Yo. But yo, that's crazy. Yeah.
Are they all the same brand?
Sorry, what?
Are they all the same brand? At least.
I don't remember. This was years ago. Probably. I think they were the off brand. Like they weren't name brand. It was like the cheap ones you could get at
True.
Walgreens.
So going way back to the original topic, right? In our remaining time, do you think Antonio Brown should be arrested for this specific incident? Right, he's got a lot of things that he should have been arrested for, clearly. But for this specific incident, do you think it's something that he should spend like jail time for?
No.
If the woman wants to press charges, of course, I think she's well within her rights. But if she doesn't want to press charges, if she doesn't think a crime has taken place, I'm going to take the side of the woman and say a crime hasn't taken place, and Antonio Brown shouldn't be charged.
Nah, Dubai drill. It sounds wild. Like I feel like get him back stateside. Like I just don't want another Brittany Griner situation.
Yeah, because
no one's going to trade back for Antonio. Like he's done. Once the football career is over, no one cares.
It's fine. I think we should have. I think we should welcome as many Brittany Griner situations as possible, so we can teach these idiots, these celebrities, what consequences are, and to show them not to do this shit. Because look what'll happen to you, and learn from somebody else's experience. You're like, oh shit, I'm not above the law just because I got money.
Yeah, but like, consequences is Antonio Brown.
What about the people? What about the people?
Brittany Griner, especially.
What about the people around?
An empty weed cartridge.
Wait,
sorry, I don't care. I don't care about the.
Crime.
I don't care about the Brittany thing. For Antonio Brown, what are the people who are in the poll who witnessed it? Right. As some people are saying here that flashing should definitely be a crime. Then shouldn't they be able to press charges? And if that's the case, do you think? Yeah, and let's pretend this happened in the States, right? If Dubai is a problem for you, let's pretend it happened in the States. Should Antonio Brown do time for just that? Like you saw the video. He did a little flash, he jumped up, showed his butt, right? And then I'm not sure if that particular video that I gave you guys showed his penis, but like another one, he did kind of stretch it out for a second. So yeah, should he go to jail, do hard time for that?
If people wanted to press charges, yeah, I mean, I don't know about jail, but I do he could do
community service.
He could do community service or probation, or he could pay how do you say grievances?
Yeah, like a fine.
Yeah, not just a fine to the city, but literally to the direct party. Yeah, restitution. Yeah.
I don't understand.
You know, it was a public pool in a foreign country.
I don't know if it's public.
It was it's a hotel pool, so open to the public that uses that pool. I mean, obviously. So I mean, so I guess it's semi-private, I guess, because it's a private business, but it's open to all the patrons that are using the hotel at that time. So I think, and it's caught on camera. So I mean, if the Dubai authorities want to prosecute him, they should be able to. I think that a crime has been committed and it's provably documented. There's lots of evidence for it.
I'm asking, is the severity enough that you think that he should? I get that they can they have the legal jurisdiction to do so. Got it. But I'm saying that for the severity of his actual actions, especially when we're talking about the flashing thing, right? Should that equal jail time? Should you do a year in jail or whatever you think is the amount for that?
No. I already said that while I think it should be a crime, I don't think it should be a hard jail sentence. I think it should just be a heavy fine based on the severity, and then you just move on. So I think they should just fine him.
And you also got to tie it to resources, because a real long jail term for something like that'll force a large swath of people into homelessness, where it wouldn't hurt Antonio Brown in nearly the same way.
Mm-hmm. And I also think that there's I guess technically everything always can technically lead up to jail. If authorities showed up, as I'm pretending it's the stateside, authorities showed up, Antonio Brown, go put some clothes on, and he's like, "No, I'm staying here." Then if he's refusing up to,
he would do that.
Yeah, and he likely would. He's refusing up to the point. I can see, okay, just for public indecency, an initial arrest. Okay, he's refusing to leave where he's going. But past that, no, I wouldn't.
Let me give you all a piece of advice, right? You don't want to get your ass beat by the cops nude.
But some draws, but
pepper sprayed you naked. Oh yeah, like don't you know what?
The
Catch
taser
your
right
ass
to the
open by the
chest.
cops
Hit you in the
while you're naked. All right. At least like put some underpants on, put your sneakers on at the very least, right? And then take your beating. It's not worth it.
Bro, I hate.
The real
Bro,
advice.
have you seen the story when they raided a woman because they
Yeah.
got the wrong address and she was naked? Is she like, what the
Yeah.
hell?
And they gave her a
Bro.
towel and made her stand there and deal with
That's
it.
what I'm
It was
saying.
brutal.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Crazy.
Really unfortunate.
But can we talk? I remember you got. I was in the bathroom. I was listening. You guys were talking about. Forgot what it was specifically. It was about sex or something, and I was like thinking the whole time. Oh yeah, I remember. I think Revolution was saying it's not worth it. I'm gonna go to the store and get some condoms. And I was like, can we talk about how much of a scam condoms are? Them
A
niggas,
scam?
that's the biggest scam of the century because
Oh.
I remember being told by the health teachers that be coming like, always wrap it up. It only takes some of the pleasure away. That damn near takes 90% of the pleasure away, bro. Condoms damn near take so much.
I don't like condoms.
It's
but,
crazy.
Like,
Condoms
I
are
understand the point
insanely
of
like.
condoms.
Yeah, but you don't like VD or unwanted
Yeah,
pregnancies either. So what would you rather have?
Yeah.
The pleasure comes from not getting an STD or not getting someone pregnant. That's where the pleasure comes from.
I like
Those are the real
Comes
pleasure.
to being able to do it with relatively no consequences.
Exactly.
Yeah, relatively, but same thing with birth control. Feel me? That's relative. That's 99% as well. Birth control.
Well, I mean,
Feel me?
Condoms are birth control.
well, there's also STDs, but
But I'm
like you're in
talking
a
about like
relationship.
the pill
Yeah.
or.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, I understand. That's why I'm saying I'm always an advocate for getting both of y'all get tested before you have sex if it's with somebody you don't know that much or whatever. So like
Nobody really does.
Yeah,
that.
that's gonna happen.
I've done it.
I've
In
done
college,
it.
I did that all the time.
Before we did
I've
it
done that
there.
literally once in my life.
I've done it.
Was this when you were
you
involved
live out
in
of
long
risk.
term?
No. I'm
Or
saying
you
like.
had plans? No, I was talking to Prom.
Oh no, I'm saying the people I was planning to have sex with like unprotected.
That's what
So
I'm saying.
like,
Like, is it somebody you were dealing with long term?
what difference would it make? No, not necessarily. Yeah, like if even if it's a short term, right? Like then we could just like, hey, this is my test. That's your test. Okay, then we can move forward with that if that's something we want to do.
It's cool to have a test, but I'm saying like you got one updated, like who got a hookup coming up next week, and you like planning the doctor visit,
That's happened before.
I actually no. When I actually had a social life, which is not now. I would go to the. I've talked about this before on stream. I would go to the doctor like a month every 2 months, right? Like and get myself tested because I was having sex with different people.
I get tested after every partner.
Yeah,
I've done that. I go every 6 months, but like it's not when I was getting after it. But it wasn't like for each partner. It was just like just check in.
No.
Add it to the file.
Yeah, that's good as well.
For me, it wasn't for necessarily each partner. I just like wanted to keep on top of it, so I would go every month or every 2 months, right? In any case, so at the initial clinic that I would go to was attached to like a major hospital, right? I remember I had this nurse who like I was her patient, right? And she did not like me. She like would like I at first like tried to do the thing that health officials tell you to do, right? Be honest, right? Honest about how many sexual partners I was having. So I was honest about that, right? Painfully so. I just like this is what I've done, or if I can remember.
You were asked how many by your doctor? I never got asked.
Yeah, well, I said like I wasn't in a long-term relationship though, So especially if you're outside of one, but in any case, it doesn't matter. But the point is, I was honest about it, and this woman would always give me like fucking dirty looks and shit, right? And
you were telling her.
But she would always give me dirty looks. And I would, oh my god, please, guys, follow the story. I'm just trying to get this out. Holy fuck! So this woman made it very clear that like I wasn't welcome. She made me. She would ask questions that was like she thought that like I was living some sort of degenerate lifestyle, and that sucked. But then I got like a new doctor. I transferred to a new doctor, right? And who was specialized in like sexual health. And he's like, no, you were doing the right thing. It really sucks that the other person was like terrible, but yeah, that happens in clinics, right? There'd be there'd be judgment. So like he didn't give a shit. So that was cool. That guy, hold on, quick story. That guy, the first time I met him, like I also, I got a test done, right? And he gave me the results, right? And he starts reading down, like the different diseases, right? And he's like, like gonorrhea negative, syphilis negative, HIV positive, and I'm like, what? It's like, yeah, you know that. Positive? No, I don't know this. And he looks at it again. Oh, it's negative. Sorry about that.
Oh, it was joking.
Nah.
He was joking.
He wasn't joking. He just like blew.
He misread it.
Steve Harvey'd your results.
Bro,
Yeah, Steve Harvey, my results.
bro, tell me about why do they make like when they reading the test, they make it so dramatic, like you're on The Price is Right, or like motherfucking let's make it like what's that
Let's
deal
make a deal
show?
for real. Yeah, it's more like
he
that.
dealt with like a lot of this clinic dealt with a lot of gay men, and like a lot of them just came in HIV positive, right? So he just like he saw HIV, and it's like it was a regular thing for it to be positive. So he's like, "Oh yeah, you're positive," and it was just like a regular thing. Yeah, but don't worry, we'll deal with it, right? And I'm like, "Fuck."
There's always such a dramatic
Heart
stop.
stopped. Heart stopped. I'm like,
Oh my
fuck.
god, yeah.
Yeah.
I might kill myself if I got HIV or something, bro. I don't
That's
know. Bro.
crazy.
Why?
You probably
Right.
They have
would.
good drugs for it now.
I don't know, bro. Because
People
those
adjust
drugs,
to things really fast. You would be depressed for like 6
those
months.
drugs are
maybe less,
really
and then you
expensive.
would like adjust to your life.
Aren't
You
they
would- okay.
expensive? Those drugs?
I just think
They're
imagine
not.
It depends where you
Cheap.
get them.
Yeah, if you don't have insurance, I think.
Oh
But
no,
don't you work in the city?
I do now. But maybe when
Yeah, you should be
I
fine.
didn't used to, like imagine in college when I was going crazy. But what about like herpes though?
Crazy.
Like genital herpes? That I
Yeah, that
actually
just blows.
might
No
Everybody
thanks.
has those.
no
Those are
genital.
I do
Genital
not have
herp-
genital herpes. I
say that.
promise.
Neither.
Well, no, not
Genital-
no. Everybody doesn't have genital herpes, but I'm
Yeah,
saying
I know,
Everybody could have chicken pox, but not everybody's even had chicken pox. It's
I
just
thought-
a pretty wide range.
That's why I said genital herpes on purpose, because I have
There
Mouth
is a strain
herpes.
of herpes that like almost all adults have. Yeah. So
90% of people.
yeah.
have.
yeah, but I'm talking
Um,
about genital.
But I actually don't. But yeah, genital herpes. Like I know people with genital herpes, and like I said, they just basically the gist of it is you have. I mean,
You
one,
know?
you have to eat. Yeah, I'm sure you know people
Whoa.
too. They just probably haven't told you yet.
Sorry,
Yeah,
what are you trying to
I know
say? Go
people-
ahead.
Yeah, it's not that crazy. You have you take your medicine, you eat healthy. You'll have breakouts. It can be like it can literally be decades between breakouts, and each breakout is usually less intense than the last, like because your body sort of adapts to it. It's not something, and I think you can only transmit in the middle of a breakout.
No, I think you can transmit
You know
outside
a lot
of
about
breakouts.
Yeah, you can translate it out of a
yeah.
breakout.
I've dealt with people like really close that have like
I've
gotten-
decided I'm not willing to risk it to find out.
No, I'm not.
alright,
Yeah, you
alright.
should
For the
protect yourself.
biscuit.
But revolutionary,
Gotta risk it for the
right?
biscuit.
Dream says condoms are a scam. So, like, I don't know. I guess you got no.
I mean,
choice
the
about
price
that.
is definitely a scam.
Absolutely, a you think? Come on, bro. They was telling us for years.
Let's.
feels just
Oh
as
my
good.
god.
And the
All I'm
biggest,
saying,
But that's not where the
principle.
fucking pleasure
Make
comes
it free.
Well, for
Prime, the
me, it's
biggest-
not. I just like being inside a woman. Like that's like that's the
you
fun.
inside
The
a
warmth,
condom
Let
inside
me
a
and
woman.
the tightness. That's where I get the fun from, right? I don't.
I
Like,
mean, I'm inside clothes inside a house. I'm still inside a house.
Prime, think about it. The biggest, especially the other biggest scam that's within condoms is condom slim. Them slim.
Yeah, that shit don't
condoms,
do anything.
That shit
No,
don't
it's
do
just-
nothing.
it's
That's just
nothing.
a regular condom.
It's just a slightly more dangerous condom. Like I don't know.
Slightly more dangerous.
It really is. Okay, let's move
That's
past.
the scam.
Have you ever had a condom
my
break on
God.
you, Prime?
Yes, I have. I've talked about this on stream before.
Doesn't it
actually.
feel better after the condom broke?
It absolutely did.
No.
You keep going after it,
but
That is not the point.
Get
but-
another one.
So it's a huge scam. I'm telling
No,
you.
I told you this before when we were doing the Hey, Josh, you said you showed up like during the stealthing talk. That's where I talked about this. Like I was with a woman, and we had great sex, amazing sex, really fun, good stuff. But like the condom, and she used a brand that I used, and I usually don't have any trouble with, but it kept like ripping, right? In certain positions, it would just like it should be like really tight, and like the front would just like rip down, like or the top rip down, and I was laying this to stealth thing because like I backed up, hands up, like I take a look, the condom broke. I didn't do it, like I'm not like trying to like fuck around with you here,
Sure.
but it happened a few times. So
Few times. Right.
and then we just started going
thrashing,
without
boy.
it. Then we started going
Condom
without
broke
it.
for me a few times.
It's just
Like-
like it kept happening.
Jeez.
For CVS.
Yeah,
This,
but
that's,
but yeah,
sounds like it's like
but-
really interesting.
yeah. Just to be very clear, like I didn't I didn't mess with the condom. Like it just ripped.
I think
Okay,
Yeah.
but I know we're about to transfer. Last question about that. Do you? I know you said you were getting tested a lot. Do you mention condom first? Like, do you like, okay, I'm using the condom, or does it
Yeah.
depend on the person? Or
I don't know. It was condom. Yeah.
oh no, see,
I wear a condom.
I'm like I said, I'm the nigga they warned you about. I am like if you bring it up,
Wow.
I'm like, okay, oh yeah, sure.
That's super,
If you don't say
super
nothing,
honest.
I don't say nothing. I'm just going until you like, hey, you got a condom? Yeah. Like I have to think about I'm just going.
I'm actually, Bam. I never carry condoms around, so when they say you got, I say no.
Well, you gotta be prepared. Just in case.
No, because I'm actually okay with not having sex. If it's got to be with a condom, is the only other choice. That's why I hated condoms, bro. Like condoms made my experience.
I'd rather get it in.
You'll
I'd
Tell me
rather
you
get it
like
in
playing
than
Russian
not.
roulette with your dick. That's all I can say.
You'll
You're
turn down
spinning the wheel and putting it to your
You'll
dick.
turn down a 10 out of 10 if she told you to put a condom on.
Because I know she.
First of all, I don't even believe that.
Let me
There's
tell
no way.
I've done it because the reason why is because I would actually only take that up offer if I feel like I'll have raw sex later. I will endure that pain because I know I will have raw sex later.
But you to the future. It's got a magic bullet.
So, but I've actually done it because I've been in a situation where I had a condom and I never came. I just don't come off of condoms.
So
But
she's
it's your
winning. You're good.
I know she's winning. I want to win too.
I would.
mean,
I
you
would.
work
Just
I
hard.
realize
would.
that when you're wearing a
When you work
condom,
down.
at that point, you're just doing the work for her. Like, all right, baby, all right.
I'm a dildo.
I guess.
You can take the condom off and then like jerk off. Like that's what I do.
Whoa.
I just like and
What?
finish that way.
What's the
Like
point of
yeah,
having sex?
like,
I
we're,
can
we're
do
done
that
having
on my own.
sex. We're
I
done
can
having
make
sex.
myself come in 2
Ron be
seconds.
hitting the
bro.
face finisher.
I can make myself come like a 2.
The
1
pace
minute,
finisher. Sorry,
No,
what?
the face finisher.
Oh, it's finisher.
Money shot.
Yeah.
I just it's a
Sometimes,
huge
yeah.
scam.
But,
It should be banned. Condoms are just insane, bro.
Yeah,
Well,
that
what do
feels
we
a little
know?
special.
What are we gonna have technology like? I watched this hentai once where they had a technology where it was like
You started that
Oh,
sentence
yes.
horribly.
That sounds no. I'm so ready for it. Kai, let it happen. Let it happen.
only
created this
only
technology-
brilliance comes with a sentence that starts with "I watched a hentai once."
I expect tentacles. Tentacles are coming now. Get ready.
What happened in the hentai dream? What happened?
it was this technology where it was like it was a sex theme park, and they went to the sex theme park. But before you went to the sex theme park, you had to get tested, and once you're clear for the testing, you put a condom on that it was like not even existing. So you can come inside bitches and everything, but it's like you had a condom on but didn't. So you felt all the pleasure of real life raw sex, but with the safety of a condom. We need that technology, bro.
All right,
Isn't the
bro.
point of a condom
I-
not to come in a person?
Bruh.
I'm glad.
What
I'm
was
glad
this
we're
called
playing.
for
this is
research
a-
purposes?
This is
I
the
am-
advanced technology. Yeah,
I
exactly.
am glad that we are playing make believe. All right, moving on.